So I heard about a new movie called Silence. It just came out, and I heard that you saw it. And I'm really kind of curious about the movie itself. I want to see it, and I want to hear your reviews. Can give us an overview of Silence.
Well, Silence is it's a film about the persecution of Christians in 16th century Japan, and it stars Liam Neeson, Adam Driver, and Andrew Garfield, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese. And in the film, two Portuguese Jesuits traveled to Japan because one of their mentors, another Jesuit priest, had gone missing about 10 years prior, and they hear word that he had apostatized. So they go to confirm this and continue his missionary work in the country. And once inside the country, they encounter really extreme persecution of Christianity by the Japanese authorities, and it's just it's a constant state of fear that these Japanese Christians live in. And for the first half of the movie, it really explores this overall theme of persecution for your faith. But in the second half of the movie, the two Jesuit priests are captured by the Japanese authorities, and the film takes on another theme entirely, and it takes after its namesake in that it becomes about the persistence of faith in the face of what appears to be silence from God. And at the end of the movie, Father Rodriguez, the main character played by Andrew Garfield, is presented with a demand by the Japanese authorities. Either he himself apostatize and step on an image of Christ and forsake his faith in public, or they will kill 5 or 6 other Japanese Christians. And the finale, it's really intriguing, and it makes you think because it's obviously a work of fiction. And in the finale, Christ himself breaks his silence, and he speaks to Rodriguez and tells him to step on it, and he understands what the temptation and what the pressure is like because he himself was born into the world and experienced these things. And Father Rodriguez does step on it. The Christians are freed, and there's a brief epilogue of the movie for about 15 to 20 minutes that shows Father Rodriguez living in Japan after his apostasy, and the Japanese authorities constantly monitoring him and forcing him to continually forsake Christ. But at the end of the movie, Rodriguez dies of old age, and it's about 60 years after the finale, and he's buried in the typical Buddhist fashion, that is in an urn that is then lit on fire. But the very last shot of the movie, it zooms inside of the urn, and it shows that as he's burned alive, or his corpse is burned, there's a little wooden crucifix inside his hand, and it's implied that despite being publicly forced to reject Christ by the Japanese authorities, that in secret he had continued to keep his faith for however many years he lived in Japan. And in that the film really poses some difficult questions about the nature of sin, the nature of apostasy, and the nature of faith as we know it, because it's easy for us armchair martyrs to say that to quote the Bible where it says, if you deny me in front of your friends, I'll deny you in front of my Father. But the film really forces you to take these on, and the Bible repeatedly makes a point of saying that only God knows the heart of each man. And overall, it was a really well filmed, well acted, and well directed film. But what puts it above other historical dramas, other films based on books about spirituality, is the questions it really leaves with the viewer. And so far it is my favorite film of the year, and it's something I hope I can view again soon.
What do you think Martin Scorsese was trying to communicate to the world through this film?
Well, from the limited knowledge I know of Martin Scorsese, from what I've read, I believe that he is in some extent Christian, although looking at a lot of his R-rated filmography with sexual content and violence might dissuade some people from believing this. But I really think that Scorsese was trying to, from what I read about the movie beforehand, this was a film that Scorsese had wanted to make for some time, because the book was published in English in 1966, and I think for about 20 to 30 years Scorsese had actually had this project on his mind. And I really think that if anything, this film is trying to to show the struggle of being authentic with your faith and authentic spiritually, showing that in the most extreme sense that these aren't easy things to deal with, that you will encounter trouble, that it's not always as black and white as we can say in the detached sense that we do.
Thanks, Christian. That's really fascinating.
No problem.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Bravo.